never done it live like this before.
Okay, we're starting. Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and welcome to Eat Right for Life. आज का जो program है वो बहुत special है because we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Eleena Rathaur, and she is a crystal and Reiki healer. I'll give you a little bit of a background. She's done her bachelor's in neuroscience from Manchester, and she's trained as a crystal healer and as a Reiki healer as well. So we're really pleased to have you with us, Eleena. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm so excited to be on here. Thank you, Afsha,
Great,
for
great,
inviting me.
great. So let's start with a little bit about the description of what really is Reiki healing, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't really know what it is and how it benefits them.
Okay, yeah, of course. So Reiki is basically, it's referred to as hands-on healing, because basically I tune into the Earth's energy, so the universe's energy, life energy, and it channels through me out of my hands, and then it's then directed to the person's body. So anywhere that they need it, wherever they're imbalanced in energy or depleted or anything like that, I then channel the energy to that area. But it's basically, it's a Japanese holistic healing therapy.
So do you do it face-to-face, or do you offer it online as well?
I can do both. So I'm level 2 practitioner. So that means I can do it in person, but I also can send it via distance. So I send it to people all around the world. And so, for example, I've got a client in Australia that I send it to frequently. She's a surgeon. She absolutely loves it. So I'm happy to send it wherever is needed.
Oh, that's great. So what kind of clients do you get? What kind of health issues are they suffering from?
All sorts, mainly mental health issues. So a lot of people suffer from anxiety, depression, anything to do with that. Also, some neurological disorders, for example, multiple sclerosis. I've had someone with really bad brain scans, and they can, after a few Reiki sessions, and then also a lot of other spiritual healing and crystal healing and things, her brain scans completely changed. So yeah, that was one example.
So have you ever experienced, have any of your clients come to you who are experiencing issues like IBS or digestive problems or any other kind of medical issues?
Yes, I do. Just like that, yes, so eating disorders, and then also people that have IBS, also fibromyalgia as well, and then also just gut problems in general, really, which I then tune into their energy, find out if they've got any certain blockages in a certain area. So most of the time it tends to be around their stomach region. So then we work on healing that, and then I come up with a plan for that person that's just completely personal to them. I can recommend foods that they can eat, yoga poses they can do, crystals that they can use, and then also meditations and things like that. So
we'll come to the crystal healing in a bit, because that's very interesting, and that's something that I'm looking into as well. But as regards to Reiki, tell us a little bit about chakra healing. How do you do that, and what does a client feel when they have their chakras imbalanced?
Okay, so for example, so I'll work my way up through the chakras just to explain it as easy as I can. So there's 7 chakras in total, the major chakras. So you've got your root chakra, which is around this region.
Yeah, your reproductive areas.
Yes,
the reproductive areas.
Yeah, absolutely, reproductive areas. And it keeps us grounded, it anchors us to the earth. So if this is imbalanced, your head might be a bit scattered, you might feel deflated, you might be all over the place, basically. And when you meditate, you're tuning into your root chakra, and that just calms you down and just brings you to earth. And then you've got your sacral chakra, which is your hormonal center. So that's just around your pelvis area. And so, like I said, it's your hormonal area. So if this is out of balance, you might be a bit hormonal, your emotions might be up in the air. another thing that I always say when someone's pregnant or if they're trying to be pregnant, I always recommend working on the sacral energy area as well. Then it's the solar plexus chakra, so that's your solar plexus region.
Would you call that as the digestive problems, where if they've got an imbalance, so the solar plexus is going to be disturbed?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And your sacral chakra would be a bit disrupted as well. But with the solar plexus, yes, that can result in a lot of stomach issues. So like you said, IBS, stomach aches, gas, anything that's to do with the stomach region. If your solar plexus chakra is blocked, or if it's overactive, that's too much energy there, so it can cause IBS and all sorts of issues. Also, you might not want to eat, or you might be
loss of appetite.
Absolutely. So the solar plexus region is all about your motivation and your goals as well. So if you feel like you're demotivated, you don't know where to go next, it might be that your solar plexus is out of balance. So I always recommend focusing on that region for that. And then also just do, for example, a plan or visualization of where you want to be in life, or what your goals are, and then that can help release that energy as well. And then you've got your heart chakra, which is very commonly disrupted in most people, because obviously just anything, arguments or
emotional issues, basically.
Exactly. Trauma, anything, it will disrupt this area. So people can feel it, your heart can sink or
ache. They feel like a heartache kind of a feeling. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Or it's tense, you can't breathe properly. And when this region is blocked, that's what happens. If it's overactive, you might get just feeling really, really anxious, over energetic, and a bit shaky as well, and things like that. So for this region, what I recommend is doing a lot of self-love exercises and just taking time out, breathing, eating root vegetables and also green vegetables, so smoothies and things like that, just all the good green things basically. And yes, so again, with disorders and stuff like that, so any heart problems, it could be because you've got a blocked or overactive heart chakra.
Does the color mean anything? Because all the chakras have got different colors. So does that signify anything?
It does. It's actually the main reason I remember it all. I do it all through color. So even just looking at a crystal, if it's green or if it's pink, it's for your heart chakra. So that's a really easy way of just figuring out what the crystal's for. Yeah. And then also when you're tuning into that energy, I always say visualize that color. Visualize a flower opening up or closing. However you want to heal, visualize the color.
And then going up to the throat chakra, is that related to the thyroid by any chance?
That is, absolutely, or throat conditions, anything like that. And thyroid will also link to your sacral chakra because it's all your hormones.
Oh, of course, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, that makes sense.
And when my throat felt a bit blocked today, so I'm wearing this opal necklace. Just felt really tight. Maybe it was because I knew I was going to come on here, and I didn't know.
A little bit anxious
to be talking, maybe. So I've been all day just tuning into my throat chakra and just getting it ready for this. But your throat chakra holds your confidence and it voices your opinion and things. So if you're feeling blocked there, you might feel unheard, or you might not have the confidence, or if it's overactive, you might struggle to stop talking. So people can be very talkative, can't they? So it might be that it's overactive.
Oh, that does make sense.
So ways that I recommend to heal this area is chanting or singing. And you can feel it lift when you're doing things like that. So that's my
going up to the third eye. Is that right? That's the next one.
That's then. Right. Yes. So third eye chakra it's basically your intuition area. It's where, obviously what we tune into when we're making decisions and when we're making plans and things like that. So when this is blocked, you might struggle to make a decision. You're really indecisive. when it's in balance, you're thinking straight and you're thinking logically. You can meditate easily, you can switch off and you can sleep well. But if it's out of balance, it's the complete opposite. So you might struggle to sleep.
So would you say that someone who has got very strong gut feelings about things and who usually make decisions with their gut feelings, do you think that their third eye, not third chakra, sorry, the third eye is basically more active?
Absolutely. So it's in balance, I'd say. And then also your solar plexus is in balance because you're tuning into your gut reaction, your gut feeling. So yeah, they work together. They tend to work together.
Yeah,
they have to be in balance.
That's really interesting because I feel that nutrition can only help so much, and then you need that extra bit of a push to kind of overcome health problems. Because I've got so many clients, they suffer from very simple digestive problems, but what they don't realize is that it's connected to their emotional state. And in order to get that balanced, they need some kind of a healing. And only then... Yeah, go on.
Absolutely. I was just going to say it. Food has an energy. So when you're consuming it, if you're consuming organic food, you're consuming a really high energy, high frequency of food. And then you have to do the work afterwards as well to help that digest or an effect, basically.
So it's very kind of interrelated, and I do feel that my clients need that extra bit of a push to kind of, help them heal better and heal faster. Otherwise, what happens is they just lose hope trying to just follow a diet plan and not really seeing, massive kind of a difference in their health because they're not addressing the root cause. Again, we come down to the root cause. Of course, there are food sensitivities and other things, but I believe that one of the root causes is an emotional imbalance as well. So once they have kind of, addressed that and balanced that out, then it's easier to get to where they want to be with their health.
Yes, I completely agree. And I always say, listen to your body. So if you feel sick when you're eating something, don't eat it. It's your body telling you not to eat it. You don't need that food. Really tune into your body and listen to it.
Right. Now let's just talk about crystal healing, which I know is one of your favorite topics. And you did mention that you're going to tell us your story, how you got into it. So let's hear that.
Yeah, I can do. So it started when I was young. I think around when I was 6 years old. I used to go to a place called a Tara Centre, so it was a Buddhist centre, and I went to a summer fair there, and I was always drawn to the stalls that had all the crystals laid out, and then every time I went I'd buy one and I'd just know exactly where to put it on my body. I don't know, just intuitively know what to do with it. And over the years they've always been with me. I went to university, I took them with me. They were in my room, they helped me when I was studying, and they've always been there in the background. And then it wasn't until I finished university and I decided to go take a Reiki course. So I did my level 2, and then the following year I did my level 2, and then I thought I'd combine the crystals, and and then from there it's just completely all fit into place, and I guess I've just gone with the flow with it, and it's gone really well.
So when you get a client for crystal therapy, you incorporate your Reiki healing as well and crystal healing. They work hand in hand together. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So at the beginning, I'll have a consultation with the person and just, find out what they want from the session. And then I will get them to lie down and relax and just meditate or just focus on what they want from the session. And then I will tune into the crystals and see what I'm drawn to for that person. I will then do a chakra analysis. So I'll use my pendulum and I'll just tune in, see where the person's imbalances are. And then I will then also pick crystals based on this. I'll then lay the crystals on their body, and then I'll start the Reiki.
Right. So every crystal has a position. How does that work?
So because of the chakras, so they'll, for example, if I want to focus on their throat chakra because they're struggling with their confidence or thyroid issues, like you said, then I'll put a blue crystal. So for example, I'll put a blue calcite crystal on their throat chakra.
Right.
or say, for example, it's their third eye that needs some healing because they're struggling to sleep, then I'll place it on their third eye. But I can normally feel where it's needed as well.
So each chakra imbalance has a crystal that kind of goes with it to balance it out.
That's correct, yeah.
That is so interesting. And do the clients, do they feel a difference straight away or in a couple of hours? How do they feel?
Straight away. I've had sessions of just Reiki and then also sessions with crystals and Reiki, and they said that, the energy is a lot more higher. They can feel the heat. It's really hot. The crystal becomes really hot for them.
Really?
And they can maybe sometimes see a color. So when I put a fluorite on the third eye, they said they could see purple.
Right.
So yeah, it's amazing. And then one session I had recently, when she woke up, she looked completely different. She was brighter. Like her
energy was brighter.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. No, I definitely believe in crystal healing. It works wonders. And it's a shame that a lot of people have not tried it and not heard about it because maybe they don't know the power of it or maybe they haven't experienced it. But I would really suggest people to try it to see how effective it is, especially if they're suffering from emotional issues. Because I think with crystals, they work best with emotional imbalances. Low mood, depression, which I think is very common nowadays with everything that's going around us. And, people are kind of, not feeling themselves. They don't have the faith about, what's going to happen. So this would be a good thing to get into and kind of, balance their emotional self out.
I agree completely. I mean, I always say that a crystal will come into your life when you need it. But, just you being attracted to this video is showing that you have an interest in it and your soul or your body might need it. But then, yes, I always say as well with jewelry, you might not want the actual crystal, but you might like the look of the crystal. So wearing it has an effect as well. So wearing a necklace or a bracelet, a lot of engagement rings have crystals on it as well. So
do you think that
whatever you're drawn to,
carrying a crystal with you will not have the same effect as wearing it on your body would?
It does, but not as much of an effect. I always recommend you wear it if you want the most out of it, because it's then part of your aura, it's part of your energy, and you're soaking in its energy throughout the day. But if you hold the crystal regularly during the day, that's connecting with it. So that will still have an effect as well.
Right. And then for every kind of a health issue or for every person, there's a specific crystal. Do crystals affect someone negatively or do they all have positive effects, some kind of a positive effect only?
They can have negative effects. So, for example, my auntie who didn't believe in them, but she loved the look of them, so she bought a few. And there was one called kyanite. It was a black kyanite piece, and she said she had really vivid dreams. She was really shocked. She said her dreams were just so intense. So she had to hide it away because she couldn't have it in the same room as it because it was having that much of an effect. Really? So I always warn people before they use kyanite to just build up to the use of it. Maybe don't have it in your room if you are subjected to really vivid dreams. It's people are different. That they're sensitive to it differently.
So everybody has a different sensitivity, just like with food. That
absolutely, yes.
It has to be tailor-made according to their body. So the crystal has to be right for the client.
Exactly, yes.
Right, yeah. That's very.
And I would say just use your intuition.
What you're drawn towards?
Exactly, yeah. What you're drawn to and what you feel you need and things like that. Yeah.
I think some of the crystal is just the look of them that looks so beautiful that you're just drawn to them, like the rose quartz, amethyst. Those are the two crystals I'm drawn to the most, and citrine, 3. What do you have to say about that?
They're the main ones, really. That's the most popular ones.
Yeah.
But yes, the citrine is for your solar plexus.
Yeah.
So that will be giving you a lot of energy and motivation. So I always recommend that for your career as well. So that's a really good crystal. It's a lovely one. Amethyst is, it relaxes you, but it also taps into your intuition and calms you down. So it's a good one to sleep with
Right.
and work on when you're meditating as well.
So people with sleeping issues, they could have an amethyst by their bedside. Would it work, or do they need to wear it for it to work? Either?
They can have it on the bedside, or they can have it under their pillow, I recommend as well. Or I like to, especially this crystal, it's blue calcite, it's really soothing. I have little pieces of it, and if you just put it on your third eye, just lie down before you go to sleep and just absorb the energy, and it will just calm your mind down and soothe it before you go to sleep. And then you could take it off and put it on your bedside table or under your pillow, whatever you feel you need.
That's a new one. I haven't heard about that one. It's called blue kite.
Blue calcite.
Calcite. Okay. Right. Because it's very difficult to identify crystals. That's because I've been reading a lot about them, and I just find it, how do you differentiate it? Like, the black ones, the obsidians, and the tiger eyes. The tiger eye is brown, but obsidian, and there's another tourmaline. They look so similar. How do you differentiate? I find it hard to differentiate.
No, I was like that at the start, but I think you just get used to it. But obsidian has a bit of a shimmer to it. It's quite a silver shimmer. Black tourmaline is quite segregated, and it has a ridge on it.
But with crystals, there's another thing. They come in all sorts and all forms. Some of them are polished. Then you've got the raw, edged ones. That makes it even more confusing. So how do you and what do you suggest? Which ones are the best ones, or which ones are better to have?
So I recommend raw, because it's been untouched. It's not been polished or worked or anything, and it's not been in touch with many energy. It's holding its high frequency because it's just come out of the ground.
That makes
maybe
sense.
Just get rid of the dirt, and that's it. It's in its raw form. So I tend to only sell raw forms. So this is raw. I try to stay away from the polished ones.
Really?
Just because I don't feel the energy from them as much.
They feel synthetic, don't they? They feel it's just like having an organic fruit and a non-organic fruit, isn't it? It's kind of like that.
That's a good point. Yes, that's interesting actually. Yeah, but absolutely, because it's just been worked and it looks so different. But some people prefer that. They like that it's smooth and that it will sit on nicely.
Yeah, it's just the appeal, the shiny appeal of the stone, that it just feels like you want to have it. But this makes sense that in order for you to get full benefits out of a crystal, it has to be in the raw, uncut form. And where's the best source for them? Do you have anything like organic crystals and unorganic? How does that work? Inorganic?
So I try to get them ethically sourced, because what made me go into all this is because I loved crystals and I was buying them and I was realizing they were fake. I was so upset about it. You spend so much money and then you realize that they're fake. They just broke, or they look like plastic. And then so I decided to just go on a hunt and find ethically sourced, good suppliers all around the world. So mainly I get them from Brazil, straight from the mines. And they're absolutely beautiful. So yes, that's what I recommend.
And you get a good variety. You find everything there, all of the main ones, and
yes, Brazil tends to have all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about sleep issues, I can see you've got a dream catcher in the background. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that? Because they look beautiful.
Yeah. So I make them, and I add crystals to them, so that when you're sleeping, obviously the American legend of it, the Native American legend, is that it will trap any negative energy. So what I've done is added black tourmaline,
right?
So that it's got that added effect. So it will bring up protection. It will absorb any negative energy, and it will help ground the person while they're sleeping as well. So
people
really nice.
With sleeping issues would benefit with the dream catcher, and I think people who get very vivid and disturbing dreams as well. It helps them, because I have heard from people that they've tried it, they've used it, and all they need to do is hang them on their bedside for it to kind of see an effect in it. Is that the way to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just above their bed, and I'd recommend connecting with it before you go to sleep. So just place your hand over it and just say thank you for helping me have a good sleep, or just tune into the energy and set the intention to have a nice sleep.
Especially with the crystals, I think you do need to do that, tune in with the energy.
Yeah, with a normal dream catcher, you don't have to do that. No.
There's a black one as well. Can we see that one, please? That was beautiful.
Thank you. This one's a yin and yang shape, but again, it's got tourmaline in it. But I did have a few other ones, but they've sold out. But I had one with citrine in the middle, and that was for goals. So when the person's dreaming, they can focus on their goals and feeling motivated when they wake up and energized. I did have some with blue calcite on it, so that it was helping them have a soothing dream and feel calm. So I can make it for the person.
Oh, you can custom make it as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. So depending on what kind of an issue they're suffering from, you can make a custom made one. So what's the significance with the feathers on it?
So feathers symbolize transformation. So even just wearing a feather, or a lot of people as well, when I don't know if you've heard of sage. So when people burn sage
cleaning, cleansing,
absolutely, yes. So they like to waft it around with a feather, and it just cleanses the energy as well, and it just uplifts the energy a bit more.
That's really interesting. So I think if a person's suffering from any kind of emotional issues, sleep disorders, then with a healthy diet, if they do all these practices, that would just be so beneficial for them. And they're going to be like targeting their health issue from every angle, basically, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned tourmaline. So a lot of people like to put tourmaline or shungite in their water as well. And it cleanses the water. I've got shungite.
Again, these two are quite similar, shungite and tourmaline. I find it so difficult to get the difference. How do you differentiate between them?
So this is quite light, but it's quite volcanic. Look, it looks very volcanic-like.
It's quite smooth. It looks polished. And tourmaline looks rough.
It's in its raw form, but it does look quite polished already, yes.
Oh, this is how it is when it's raw.
Yes.
So that's the difference. This one's more polished, and tourmaline's a little bit more dull and doesn't have a sheen to it.
Yes, absolutely. It's
How interesting.
It's more. It's got a more of a texture to it.
Yes, I've seen tourmalines. It looks like a piece of a rock.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
it
does.
Looks like a piece of a rock.
But with shungite, people like to put it in their water. There's a lot of studies around it of it changing the frequency of the water. But then also I like to put a piece on my Wi-Fi dongle or next to my computer, because it absorbs the electric magnetic frequency, which can deplete our energy and just make us really drained and foggy minded and things like that.
That was my next question, because a lot of people are very concerned about the 5G being rolled out and the negative effect it's going to have on our body. So how can we protect ourselves with crystals to, not get those negative effects?
Yes, so I recommend shungite. A lot of people like to put it on their phone case or wear it. So I made a pendant for somebody. So I wire wrapped a piece of shungite so they can actually wear it. So this has got copper on it as well. So copper is another good material to just wear, because it amplifies the energy and neutralizes the negative energy as well. So I made somebody a piece of shungite pendant. So that will then balance their energy and just deflect any EMF energy. I also recommend selenite. So just cleanse yourself at the end of the day or in the morning, and it will completely just remove any stagnant energy. So any EMF energy that you're holding into your aura.
That's a huge piece. Is that a crystal in your hand?
Yes, it is.
That is huge. That's massive. And which one is that?
It's selenite. So I like to use this in my Reiki sessions. I just wave it along the person's body, and it will just cleanse their energy and it balances them. And then I channel the energy through. So I place it over my hand, and I'll just set the intention to just channel the energy to go through the crystal into
the body.
Absolutely, yes.
That's amazing, this one. So do you get other crystals in these sizes as well, or just some particular ones?
I can do any size. So I've actually got a huge block of selenite, which I break the pieces off because people like different sizes of it. So the amazing thing about selenite is I recommend having a slab of it because you can put your crystals on it and it will cleanse your crystals. It cleanses the energy in your house and it will cleanse your own energy as well. So it's what I recommend for everybody.
Selenite.
Yes.
What about cleansing your crystals with in the moon and in the sunshine, moonlight and sunshine? Does that help as well? Or which one is better?
So I recommend moonlight to cleanse your crystals and then sunlight to energize them.
Right. So
there's other ways as well.
Yeah, I've heard running water, salt water.
Yes, but you have to be careful because selenite you can't get wet too much because it'll break to pieces.
Right. It's a porous. It's a porous kind of a crystal. It just absorbs the water. That's why it
exactly
breaks.
Yes. So it's best you can just check online. There's a lot of information on there, and you can just type in, is selenite okay to get wet? You can double check. But that's why some people like to have baths with crystals. So I'm making bath bombs at the moment.
Interesting.
For added effect with a crystal in the middle.
Right. So what happens? It disintegrates and then the crystal dissolves as well? Everything dissolves?
No, you're left with the crystal and you can connect with it.
Right. So basically the bath bomb is around the crystal.
Absolutely, yes.
And is it going to be different crystals or any specific ones?
Yes, so I've got 3 at the moment. So one is self-love. So it's going to be a green bath bomb with this crystal in it. So it's fuchsite. It's a really sparkly crystal. It's lovely. And it will leave a little bit of a glittery shimmer in the bath as well. But this one's, it's for self-love. So what I recommend is when the bath bomb has melted, you just lie the fuchsite crystal on your chest and just absorb the energy and just enjoy that bath for about half an hour. And then it will also have rose petals in it. So the bath will have a layer of rose petals and essential oils that you can just soak in. It's beautiful. It's lovely.
That sounds gorgeous. So the bath bomb has basically got everything in it. It's like it's like a mini spa treatment in a bath bomb. That sounds fantastic. And all these products are available on your website?
They are, yes.
Okay, so we'll be putting a link to Eleena's website and her email address. And if anybody wants to contact her, they're more than welcome to contact her and have a look at her products.
Yeah, you can contact me and we can make it personal for you.
Personalize it.
Consultation and
I'd
like to make it personal.
That's what it's all about, personalizing the therapies according to the client's problems.
Absolutely, because you do that with your nutrition, don't you?
Exactly, and I think that's why they see a difference. It's not a one size fits all because everybody's different. Their needs are different, their background, their bodies, the way, their hormones are kind of, working. It's all individual. So we have to create a very individualistic plan for them. And you're doing the same thing. So basically they'll get the best of both worlds if they follow both the plans together. That really makes sense. So tell me a little bit more about the kind of clients that you see. Have you ever had a client that was in such a bad state or in such a difficult kind of a health problem that it took you time to resolve it?
Yes. So I had a lady who was in Australia, and we had so many chats. And basically, she suffered from a lot of mental health issues, so bipolar and quite a few. But the doctors never knew exactly what she had, so that there was loads of different diagnoses that were made. So she was really up in the air. She didn't know what she had, and she didn't know how to deal with it, and she became very isolated and lost herself, lost her job, and things like that. So she was very hurt. And so I stepped in. I gave her a lot of Reiki sessions. I sent her a nice bundle, and I made her a nice mala. So with malas, I do certain crystals for that person, whatever they want. So for example, this is smoky quartz. This is aventurine, and that's real gold, and it's certain pendants. And so I made her a really long mala, so it was 108 beads that she could then wear and just soak in the energy. And she'd kind of lost track of her spiritual healing, so her meditation, her spiritual practice, so her Reiki, everything. So I made her the mala so that she can go back in touch with the meditation and just focus on herself again. And then I also recommended foods that she could eat. But then obviously I made sure that I said that she does need to speak to the doctor though, because obviously there is that extra support that a doctor can help with. And sometimes there is an imbalance in your brain, for example, that you need medicine for. So holistic therapies are to be used in combination of medicine.
Definitely. That's what I say when clients come to see me, that of course, consult your doctor before you start any kind of new treatment. That's extremely important. But the other thing I was going to ask you was crystal healing and Reiki, they definitely go hand in hand. But how do you explain or get your clients to meditate? Because I find it very difficult when I tell them, mindful eating or deep breathing, meditation. They just don't have a concept for it. So how would you get somebody who's never done meditation before or has no idea what it is to start from like literally baby steps?
So I always recommend, a lot of people have got a misconception about meditation, that you have to sit still for a few hours or you have to completely shut yourself away, or and you don't have to. I'm going to be doing a few meditation videos soon.
Great.
Just to help people understand that it can be just for 5 minutes, just sit down, close your eyes, focus on your breathing like you said, or just really just pause for a second, hold a crystal or anything. And I always say make it fun. So I'll give them a bundle of crystals that they can have fun with and enjoy. So, just focus on, for example, the blue calcite and just tune into its energy. Think of the blue color, or think of certain words like relax, calm, focus on your breathing. So I always recommend tuning into one thing. So basically taking your attention away from the normal world and your day and tuning into your mind and what's going on inside. So I kind of do a plan for them. So I like you said, baby steps, start them off to just working on a minute a day or 5 minutes a day. And it could be once a week to start with, and then build it up gradually. So yes, I just try and make it fun for them.
I'll tell you something interesting. This is what I personally do, and it really works for me. And now I've started to give it as an advice to my clients as well. I paint and I love painting. So not a lot of people are comfortable just jumping into painting. So I say just start with, those coloring books that you have with coloring the spaces.
Yeah.
And I said, this is a kind of a meditation, because then they're just concentrating on that and not doing anything else. And it really helps. And with all the colors, they get kind of, an uplifted mood feel as well. So would you think that's kind of a meditation as well?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, because like you said, you're tuning into the colors, and colors elicit an emotion and a feeling, and it triggers different things. So I like that idea. Yes, I really do.
So I think they find it very simple, and then they don't have to, think about, we'll need to sit in one place. Because I think the most difficult part in today's world is sitting in one place and not thinking about anything.
Yeah,
that is something,
switching
off. They can't do that. They just say, this is impossible. Yeah. We just can't do that. If we sit in one place, okay, we'll be sitting there, but our mind is going to still be wandering somewhere.
Yes.
So it just does not happen.
Absolutely. So that's why I say just focus on one thing. So also if it's nice outside, if it's sunny, stand on the grass barefoot and visualize roots going out of your feet into the ground, and set the intention that you are grounded. So some people like visualization exercises because then they can focus on something. And then some people like to listen to guided meditation so they can hear what they need to do and then follow it. I quite like guided meditation.
That's very interesting because we had a lecturer at our college when I was training, and he used to do some fantastic things for meditation. He used to go out in the forest and he used to hug trees, like literally hug trees. And he said that that was like, such a positive feel. And at that time, we didn't really understand what he meant. But now, kind of years down the line, it just kind of makes sense what, nature, what effect nature can have on you. And again, people don't do that. They're just, running around in the city. Either they'll go for a walk, but then again, they're either on their phone or doing something else. They really have to cut off and really kind of concentrate on the surroundings. And I think that's, again, a kind of a meditation, would you say?
Definitely, yes. And connecting in nature is amazing. Nature and plants, they emit a certain frequency. So when you're in that zone, you're absorbing their energy. So they say even just sitting by a tree, looking at a flower, looking at each petal, that's mindfulness. That's you're focusing your attention on the beauty of the plant or the beauty of the tree or the sky, or just focusing on something. That's mindfulness.
That's great. That's perfect. Well, there's just so much to talk about, and it's just it's a never-ending topic because you just learn, like, it's a whole new world. I mean, I'm kind of in tune to it and I do have the knowledge for it, but I'm sure that my listeners, they might be like, they've never heard of these therapies before. So I think this is a great platform for them to kind of, to introduce to them that these kind of therapies, they exist and they work. And especially with Reiki and crystal healing. I believe you offer a CBD oil as well for health issues. It's mentioned on your website.
Yes, exactly. So at the moment, I'm making a CBD product line. So I'm going to be making CBD oil for the face and mixing it with caffeine, because I know a lot of Asians, we suffer from pigmentation or dark circles around our eyes. So that was my main target. I wanted to help my own skin because I had really bad dark circles since I was young. So I really wanted to help that. And since I've been using caffeine oil, it's helped, dramatically. And then I thought I'd combine CBD oil, which CBD has so many different benefits. Consuming it or absorbing it through your skin, so many different benefits. So that's why it's led me to make the bath bombs with CBD oil in it, and then also the face oil. But yeah, I'm having lots of fun with it.
I find it very difficult to choose a good quality CBD because the market is flooded with it. And it's a big confusion for the clients as well, which one to choose. So what would you recommend?
So I recommend you ask them where they source it from. Ask for a certification of the origin, because it you don't actually know if they've mixed it with anything. You don't know if it's pure CBD. So you ask what the percentage of it is, the milligram. So for example, in my bath bombs, I'm making it as 1,000 milligrams. So that's a lot. It's a lot of CBD in a bath bomb. You can get 250 to 1,000. That 1,000 tends to be your top bar. But I'd say even sourcing it from America is really good.
US is the best. Yeah, I've researched into it and I found US is one of the best ones to source it from.
US is great, but I struggled with getting it sent over. It was the prices were extortionate. So luckily I've found somebody in the UK. She's absolutely lovely. She's called Gemma, and she sources it from Jamaica and America. And she makes pure products, and she supplies the ingredients to me, but she also makes her own products. So I can give you her link if you like, but it's kind of been a limited, and she has certifications and really good high quality products.
So does she offer different strengths, and then how would the clients know which strength is suitable for their health condition? Because that's another thing. This is like such a craze that everybody thinks, we'll just use the CBD oil for XYZ issue and it will be resolved. But I don't think it's as simple as that.
No. So they recommend if you start on a low dose first and build it up, because you don't know if you might be fine with just a low dose. You might have amazing effects from low dose. So I have a little bit of CBD in the morning just to help with anxiety, just help calm my mind throughout the day. And that helps with me. So I have 250 milligrams of it. And that works wonders. And it's different ways of consuming it. You can get the drops, vape pen, which is just pure CBD. You just inhale it. You can get the oils. Some people have arthritis or fibromyalgia.
Joint issues, yeah.
So you can rub it on your joints, and that's really, really good for you. So there's loads of different ways. It's so exciting. It's so new and upcoming.
It is.
I actually did my dissertation on it because I was fascinated by it.
Yeah. So at that time, did you have a lot of variety of CBD oil in the market?
No, it wasn't really in the market then.
Really?
It was mainly in America. It's only just recently
that has come down here.
To the UK. Yeah.
And we're very lucky that it's legal here, because there are loads of countries in Europe that it's not even legal to use it.
Yeah.
So I think we should make the most of it. But then again, I would say consult a professional before using something like this, because you need to know the strength of it. You need to check what health conditions you've got, because these things, they do benefit you, but they can also have a negative effect. So it's always best to consult a professional and then start with something
and
like
you don't know if it's going to interact with the medicine you might be already on. Or, like you said, a condition you might have. So, definitely check with your doctor. Just have a second opinion. Definitely. It is your health, and there's so many factors that you have to factor in.
I think that is the worst thing that I find with my client as well. And this is just all misinformation. They've just been bombarded with all kinds of advertisements for products and supplements, and they feel, oh, we're just going to have this and this issue is going to be resolved. But again, it's not as simple as that. You need to follow a full, complete protocol. You need to have the right foods in your diet. And then it's like step by step. Start with having the right nutrition, then the supplements. And I think healing, all these kind of, then they did really.
I mean, as part of my journey, actually, this time last year, I was really ill. Had a lot of stress at my last job, and I was just in a really negative environment, and it really brought me down. I had 6 months of just constant stress and negative energy, and it led me to have a mental health disorder. So I ended up having to take time out of work, and during that time I learned that literally you need everything. You need a good, healthy, balanced food that you have. You need to sleep right. You just need to look after yourself. You need to take time out for yourself, because your health can really escalate. I've witnessed it myself, and
people just take their health for granted. This is what I've seen, and they think they can just keep going on and on without pausing and recharging. But
absolutely,
even a machine needs to recharge. That's what I tell my clients. I give them the example of a mobile phone.
You're right.
I say, why do you put your mobile phone on charge at night? Why don't you just let it, go day after day? Yeah, just let it go.
Yes,
and then they think about it. They say, you know what? We need to rest. And resting does not mean that just collapse in bed at night. It means having some me time during the day, taking breaks. And not just kind of like, just going at a train speed through life, because then you get a crash. And that's when they seek for professionals like us. But sometimes, it's I wouldn't say it's quite late, but they've kind of really pushed themselves. And it takes us a lot of time to kind of rebalance their health then.
Absolutely.
So before
your body can just crash, like you said. That's what happened to me. It just literally, my brain just said, no more.
Enough.
And just stopped completely. It just made me stop. So now I understand completely. But exactly like a car, it needs servicing all the time, doesn't it? A frequent service.
So this is a servicing your body, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
This is a way to service your body, mind, and soul. That's what I think that's why our therapy is called holistic, because it treats the person as a whole.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So it's called holistic therapy. Tell us a little bit about the fairs that you've done. You've mentioned on your website.
Yes, I'd love to. So unfortunately, because of COVID, it's kind of put things on a pause. But I did have so many events planned this year. It was going to be a few every month. So in February, I had an event in Manchester. Liverpool. It was the International Yoga Festival. And I was a guest speaker there. And so I was on stage and I was just talking about my mental health and what's helped me and what I think is important on mental health and ways that you can improve your life and your mental state. And then I also got everybody to lie down and absorb the energy. So I sent everybody Reiki to the audience, and I got everybody to chant as well. And then I gave everybody some crystals to connect with. So it was really good. It was amazing. The energy there was great.
And they felt the difference.
It was lovely. And then we were meant to do that in Manchester in June, but that got cancelled. But and then I had a storm as well.
Hopefully things will get better, and then we would definitely like to attend and then one of your fairs and experience it firsthand. So just a little bit about yourself. You're based in Leicester, is it?
It's Colville, so it's Leicestershire. Midlands area. Right. But yeah, I'm surrounded by the countryside, so it's absolutely lovely.
Oh, that's great. That's the perfect place to be in. That's lovely.
It is. Well, I did study in Manchester, so I lived in Manchester for 3 years. So I know Manchester very well. I loved it.
So do you travel? Do you give mobile therapies, or people just need to come to you?
A bit of both. So I can come to you, or I do prefer to come to the person, because at the moment I haven't got a space dedicated for the therapy. I used to, but I don't anymore. My long-term goal is to have a studio or a retreat that people can come to. But I also do the distance healing, and then I send the crystals to the person. So it's all basically on an online platform. So my website, amavida.com.
We're going to be posting all your details. They should be there on YouTube while people are watching the program, so they can contact you. But I think it's almost time for the Zoom meeting. It's almost up. So hopefully we'll connect with you soon again.
That would be lovely.
And get some more information. And thank you very much for your time and coming over and explaining and giving us all this knowledge about crystals and about Reiki healing. And it was lovely speaking.
It's been a pleasure. It's been so nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, same here. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you. And hopefully everybody must have enjoyed the program as well, because it was something different to what I do. Because usually when I do my programs, I'm just offering nutritional advice. But now I've decided to get other practitioners on board so that I can kind of, connect with them and make nutritional therapy a bit more interesting. That's what I would say. So they would be like, okay, we'll follow the right diet plan, and then we do this and see the effect magnified, hopefully.
I love that. No, I really like that you're combining the two, because that's been my goal as well. I think it's so important. People need that inside knowledge. So yes, no, I agree.
That's great.
And we can have another chat another time if you like.
Sure, definitely. We will.
So much I can say. Because we can tailor it around food, because different foods have different energies.
Or a different health issue. We can choose a health issue and just talk about that, which would be really interesting, because everybody who's got that health issue would really benefit from it, and it would be more targeted. Yeah, great. Inshallah, we'll definitely do that. And again, thank you very much, Eleena, and hopefully we'll be in touch. Aleena's details are in the description box, so anybody who needs to contact her, they can email her, and her website's going to be there as well. And hopefully you've enjoyed the program, and we'll tune in again with another interesting program and with another interesting guest. Okay, Allah Hafiz. Okay, Eleena, bye.
Thank you.
This was a Sufi Guidance Channel production.